Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Surah 22, verse number 45. How many populations have we destroyed which were given to wrongdoing? They tumbled down on their roofs. And how many wells are lying idle and neglected, and castles lofty and well built. And you see this thousands of archaeological ruins all over the world, and thousands of nations and people throughout history. Their various messengers came to them with the reminder of La ilaha illallah, there is only one God, God most merciful, the supreme creator, indeed does exist, and indeed you will return to him, but they rejected the messengers. They rejected the truth when it came, to their own detriment. Do they not travel through the land so that their hearts and minds may thus learn wisdom, and their ears may thus learn to hear? Truly, it is not their eyes that are blind, but their hearts which are in their chest. This is so powerful, it makes a person shake. This is referring to your spiritual wisdom. We all have spiritual eyes. We have our physical eyes with which we see colors, we see the environment, we see everything. We see the letters here, we see red, we see blue, we see yellow, we see pink, we see all the various colors. We see black here. Everything, the eye, the information is going into the brain via the rods and cones, goes through the retina, goes to the optic nerves, and then the optic chiasma. The vision from the right eye goes to the left part of the brain. The vision from the left eye crosses over to the right side of the brain at the optic chiasma, the optic nerves. Then it goes to the back part of the brain known as the occipital cortex. But not only that, first and foremost, the sides are left to right and right to left, but then the image is upside down. Can you imagine that? We are seeing the world upside down. But this is the amazing eye that the Supreme Creator has created. And He has given us amazing eyes that the human eye can see trillions of different colors. And the human nose can smell billions of different scents. Absolutely amazing. But in addition to that, different animals and creatures have been given different qualities of eyes. For example, a cat, if you look at a cat when it dilates its eyes, it's huge and big. That's the iris dilates to absorb more light. A cat can see 10 times better than a human. And by cat, I'm not only referring to the kittens that we have in our houses, but also to the big cats like the lions and the tigers and the cheetahs and the leopards and the pumas and the mountain lions and so on. The entire cat family, big and small, have got this amazing vision. And that is why, for example, if you go to the Kalahari Desert or if you go to the Kruger National Park, then these amazing safari guides, and these amazing people who do the documentaries, they've put up these infrared cameras for night vision. And they will show that certain prides of lions, they will sleep during the day, but then they will start walking around at night, because at night they can see better. Then you'll find a herd of wildebeest or buffalo who are just chilling out, waiting for the sun to rise, and they have no clue that they are being surrounded by these cats with this amazing eyesight. And in addition to that, we know that the eagles are famous for their eyesight. Absolutely amazing. An eagle can spot a mouse in the field from 5 kilometers away. And a falcon can fly at it is the fastest creature on earth. When it makes that dive, it is faster than a supersonic jet. It is absolutely amazing. But this is only the physical eye. There is another eye which is more powerful and more important, This is known as the spiritual eye, that is the eye of the heart. In many people, because they do not develop their soul, and because they do not develop the spiritual side of their existence. Remember, we are made up of four components. We have four dimensions within us: heart, mind, body, and soul. Our heart is very important. We've got an amazing brain. We've got our physical body and we've got our soul. Many people just focus on the physical body. They will go for bodybuilding because they want to look at the body in the mirror. So the entire focus is just on the external body. Other people will go for beauty contests because they want to stand on, or they want to go on the fashion, what they call it, the cat ramp, or they go on the fashion, the catwalk, and then they are only interested in the physical body, which is fine, but you must have balance in your life. So some people will focus so much on the physical body, they will do bodybuilding, or they will go for beauty contests. Once again, it's the external body, but they will not develop their brain power. They will neglect their brain and they will not develop their spiritual power. So it is a lopsided existence. They may be outstandingly beautiful with wonderful muscles, but they got no clue about the intellect. They got no clue about brains, and they got no clue about God or the spiritual dimension. And that is why many celebrities as well, they will be so ultra focused on one quality. Like, for example, you'll have an actor who is so famous, or you'll have a musician who is an outstanding musician. So she's only focusing on her voice. That is all. That is the extent of her existence, only her voice. So she's got no clue. I'm not saying all, many of them do not have the brains because they don't develop their brain power. So they give over all their money over to a manager and they say, tell the manager to look after their affairs. And we all know what managers do. They steal and they embezzle and do all types of nonsense. And many of these people don't even then develop their spiritual side. To develop your spiritual side is so important because this is where our life in eternity resides. We are not just physical bodies. We are body and soul and breath. We can look at our body, but why do we forget our soul? So if you forget your soul, if you forget to develop your spirituality, if you forget to ponder and go deep into yourself and develop your spiritual side, you will find that you may have excellent physical vision. You'll be able to see everything. You'll be able to see your bodybuilding body in the mirror. You'll be able to see your beautiful face in the mirror. You'll be able to see everything around you in the air. You'll be able to go for holidays and see the Taj Mahal and Orlando Disney World, and you will see Paris and London, and you'll be the Sydney Opera House, and you'll be dazzled by the beach because your whole life is focused with your vision. But you are spiritually blind. And you know what is then the stark reality? The day you die, when your physical eyes finally close and death embraces you, at that precise moment, because your physical eyes are no longer functioning, your spiritual eyes open up. And then you will get a skirk of your life. You'll get a shock because you can see angels at that point. But then it's too late because your spiritual eyes must be open together with your physical eyes. Don't wait for death to close your physical eyes and then only you realize that, hey, okay, there's also a spiritual dimension. So remember, there is a transcendental, we see there's two dimensions. One is a very, very tiny dimension. One is a huge, limitless dimension. So the tiny dimension is actually very huge, but in relation to the spiritual dimension, it's very small. The physical dimension comprises our known universe. with trillions and trillions and trillions of galaxies, each galaxy containing trillions of stars and quadrillions of solar systems and planets and meteors and asteroids and comets and so on, including our beautiful and magnificently beautiful Milky Way, the river of milk in the sky, and with our beautiful solar system on one of the spiral arms, which contains our pale blue dot, our blue marble in our solar system known as the planet Earth, the third planet from the Sun. That is our life. But through all of this, God most merciful has created this physical world, the world of atom and molecules, the world of matter in which we are living. But in parallel to this is the terrestrial, earthly dimension of matter. In parallel to that is the ethereal, transcendental spiritual dimension, which is trillions upon trillions of times bigger than the world of matter and galaxies. Trillions of times bigger. Yet, the problem comes in because science can only measure what it can see, or hear, or taste through our five senses. That is the world of science. It is the art of scientific observation, the art, the scientific method, which means what can I see, can I measure it, can I repeat it in a laboratory, is it repeatable, is it accurate, is it scientific? But that is only limited to the world of atoms and molecules, the world of matter. Science cannot measure the spiritual dimension, but that does not mean that the spiritual dimension does not exist. So please, as a belief man, sir, you must develop your spiritual dimension, and the only way to do that is never ever remove God from the equation of your life. Never remove God from the equation of your life, right? So, do they not travel through the land so that their hearts and minds may thus learn wisdom, and their ears may thus learn to hear? Truly, it is not their eyes that are blind, but their hearts which are in the chest. It is your spiritual blindness. Yet, they ask you to hasten on the punishment. But Allah will not fail in His promise. Verily, a day in the sight of your Lord is like 1,000 years of your reckoning. This once again is another example of relativity and the concept of time given in many places in the Quran. For example, the night of Laylatul Qadr. That night is one of the last 10 nights of the magnificent month of Ramadan, and the night of Laylatul Qadr is regarded as one night is equal to 1,000 months. 1,000 months is 83.3 years. So can you imagine? The reward of one night is the reward for 83.3 years. And elsewhere, like here we read that one day is like one day, that the angels travel in one day, it'll take you 1,000 years. And elsewhere we read that the angels travel from the earth to the heavens in one day. But if you have to travel that same distance, it will take you 50,000 years. Now that 50,000 years, we are referring to the latest modern technology. That means 50,000 light years. So whereas the angels will go up and down, up and down, up and down. But for human beings to do that, it'll be 50,000 light years of traveling. And in this case, a day in the sight of your Lord is like 1,000 years of your reckoning. And this also then makes sense, because when we look at our own solar system, immediately we see the differences in the various years and days. For example, our planet Earth is like the standard. We know that a day is 24 hours. That's how long it takes the sun to go alternate night and day. But 1 year takes 365 days. That means it takes 365 days for the planet Earth to go around the sun. That is 1 year. But 1 year on Mercury is only 88 days. And 1 year on Pluto is 270 years. But our sun is also orbiting the Milky Way galaxy. So 1 year for our sun, one galactic year for our sun is equal to 250,000 years, a quarter billion years. Now look how amazingly the Quran 1400 years ago is talking about relativity, different time scales and all of that. Absolutely amazing and mind-boggling. This was not possible for someone living in a desert, a Bedouin in the desert in ancient Arabia 1400 years ago. Once again, this proves that this is the Kalamullah, this is the word of the Supreme Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without a shadow of a doubt. And to how many populations did I give respite which were given to wrongdoing? In the end, I punished them. To me is the destination of all. Once again, the Quran is reminding us again and again and again and again. The fact that we have been created means we're going to return to the Creator. This is a guarantee. No one can escape death and no one can escape the meeting with God. This is a guarantee. Every single human being, irrespective of race or religion or ideology or gender, whether Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Scientologist or a pagan worshipper or a polytheist or a new age religion or an old age religion or neo-paganism or a tribal traditional healer or a monotheist, pantheist, polytheist, agnostic or atheist, even the atheists, even Charles Darwin and Professor Richard Dawkins and Carl Sagan and Alfred Russel Wallace, every single human being on the face of the earth guaranteed will be restored to life and they will stand in front of God, because God has sent us to earth with a mission. We have to report back to Him. We have to. The planet Earth is not our home. We belong in the heavens. We don't belong on the planet Earth. We are simply on a voyage of self-discovery. The Prophet Mohamed said we are travelers. The planet Earth is simply our way station. We are just here in transit. We are continuing our journey back to the heavens. It is guaranteed every single human being, without a shadow of a doubt, will return to God. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.